Pokemon, as we all know, has quite a few forms of media, ranging from the games to the anime, etc. In these forms of media, there's a plethora of different characters, each containing their own unique personalities and traits. No matter what form of media you look at for Pokemon though, there's always going to be those specific characters that get left in the dust and forgotten about. Some of these characters have so much untapped potential as far as character development goes, and also the impacts they could have on the Pokemon story, whether it be the games or the anime. Today, I wanted to spotlight 10 characters that are very underrated in terms of the impact they could have had. Note that this list will contain characters from the Pokemon anime that some of you may not remember. However, there will be instances where you will 100% know who the character is. Or who knows, you may know all of them. This list could be named 10 forgotten characters in Pokemon, but I like underrated more because even though they are in a sense forgotten, underrated is a better word to show appreciation for these characters. Anywho, with that said, let's just hop into them. Alright, starting off at number 10, we have Wally. Now, some of you may be shaking your heads, or there are probably some of you that like the Wally appreciation. Wally is a fantastic individual with a respectable team, and not to mention an iconic theme song. His Mega Gallade was also a good twist in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I'd say the reasons why I consider Wally underrated is 1, he has limited appearances in the games. Even if he just had a team at the Pokemon World Tournament in Black and White 2, that could have at least been something. And 2, there's zero appearance of him in the anime at all. Now, you could argue that there are quite a few characters in the games that haven't been introduced to the Pokemon anime. And I say, yeah, you're right. All of the game's male protagonists could have been something major had the anime decided to include them. But unfortunately, they did not. I can talk more about them at a later time though. Wally, on the other hand, could have been a rival-esque character towards Max. Even though Max wasn't old enough to be a Pokemon trainer at the time, I just feel Wally and Max could have complemented each other very well. Like, the chemistry I feel could really be there. What I think would be neat, even if it's just a spin-off like Pokemon Chronicles, Max and Wally could set out as Pokemon trainers at the same time. What's also cool is that both Max and Wally could be Ralts trainers, where Wally uses Gallade and Max could use Gardevoir. Wally is a character that isn't touched on enough, and I can even say the same for Max. So I guess this one will technically be a tie entry? Up next is a character that we just talked about on the channel last week, being Alder. In that video, I discussed which one of the Univin champions is stronger, so if that interests you, definitely go check that out. Anywho, Alder to me is a great character, but just got executed poorly. In Black and White, Alder isn't the typical champion you face once you beat the Elite Four. In fact, N takes that spot in Black and White, and personally, I liked the twist. However, Alder gets tossed to the side to just simply being a secondary Pokemon League run. In Black and White 2, he's seen as a mentor for the player, especially during the early portions. In the anime, we see him play a similar role, and he's a flirt to Cynthia, which I think is comedic. Now, with these aspects, I guess this doesn't entirely make Alder himself as underrated, and some of you must be asking, why bring him up then? Well, Alder has a grandson named Benga, and he has a lot that can be done with him. We only see him make brief appearances in the game, and what Pokemon could have done for the Unova arc of the anime is use him as a rival. He could have been a much better rival than Trip, especially being the grandson of the champion. Legit, I'm getting early Gary Oak vibes. A trainer who is cocky due to his status of being related to someone of great importance in the Pokemon world. Being the grandson of a champion already gives him a lot of Pokemon experience, and battling a veteran trainer like Ash could have been interesting. Alder could pop up more often in the story and provide insight for not only his grandson, but for Ash too. Both of these characters, if executed properly, could have made the Unova anime a lot more appealing. Ash could easily have been pushed during Unova had these story elements been implemented. The Johto region. My personal favorite region, and also home to one of my favorite trainers of all time, Karen. Don't get me wrong, I know quite the majority of Elite Four members never really get much screen time outside of just battling the player in their respective titles. Some Elite Four members could even provide great insight to Ash. But I feel Karen could have played that role extremely well. We've had instances of Prima pop up in the Orange Islands, Bruno in the Indigo series, and even having Ash battle Drake in the Hoenn arc. All those interactions, though, was just showing Ash's place as a Pokemon trainer. It just showed where he's stacked, and there's nothing wrong with that, but that's pretty much all. Karen could have shown up, of course, and the same scenario could have happened like with Prima and Bruno. But Karen has a very important lesson that she teaches us players. Her quote from the Johto series is iconic. Strong Pokemon, weak Pokemon. That is only the selfish perception of people. Truly skilled trainers should try to win with the Pokemon they love best. Ash already pretty much embraces this mantra, but having Karen say this in the anime after her Umbreon would whoop down Pikachu would have been a permanent lesson that Ash would always have. This quote is powerful, and to me is still very relevant even today. We're finally at the point where we step into the Pokemon time machine to the late 90s, and a very rookie Ash. In the Viridian Forest, Ash had his very first trainer battle with a boy named Samurai. My question is, why hasn't Samurai made an appearance since like the 4th episode? Samurai is Ash's first trainer battle. To me, this is very important. Samurai is such an important character with that label. Not even the smallest appearance has happened, and we don't count that half-assed one he made in the intro song of the Orange Islands. That's just simply not enough, I'm sorry. Samurai could at least have made an appearance at the Indigo League. I feel this could have pushed Ash even further, and Samurai could have been a pretty spiffy bug trainer, really showing the power of bug-type Pokemon. But yeah, Samurai needs to be paid homage, because he's the first trainer Ash ever battled. Team Rocket, I guess, were the first quote-unquote trainers, but Samurai's goal is to be a great trainer, whereas Jesse and James really only battle to get the things they want, at least during the Indigo arc. Up next, we have another duel slot, with two characters from the illustrious Pokemon Technical School in Kanto. Giselle and Joe are both two characters that, just like Samurai, could have been implemented to the Indigo story and made things more interesting. Ash had Gary as a rival, sure, but they never truly duked it out during the main story. If Ash had more rivals in the first season of Pokemon, I feel his placement in the Indigo League of the top 16 could have at least been top 8 or more. Giselle and Joe were also no slouches either. A little cocky, sure, from Giselle's end, but they did have the knowledge. Plus, there's the aspect of there being another way of challenging the league outside of just attaining 8 badges. This is a perspective that was never really explored. Even though Joe and Giselle wanted to go on their own journeys, realistically, any perspective could have been written about them, and the story would have been decent. These are two characters that have a lot of untapped potential, and the anime should have made their presence a lot more apparent. Leading off the second half of this list is Drew, and Drew was a true rival for May, and I believe they did a decent job writing him. I just wish they could have explored more with him in terms of the rivalry him and May had. May is a contest star currently, and we haven't heard anything about Drew at all, at least as far as I know. I also like the perspective of writing him as a coordinator / Pokemon trainer. Drew could have made a cameo in Journeys, and he and Ash could have duked it out. That is, if they chose to write him from the Pokemon trainer / coordinator route. I think Drew could have been a great rival for both May and Ash. Ash mainly because he was kind of cocky, but also very skilled. We know what happens when Ash has rivals like this. Except Drew isn't Paul level of being a jerk. He's a cocky little guy at some points, but he's not bad. But regardless, I still think he's great. The Sinnoh arc of the Pokemon anime is a huge fan favorite. I mean, how could it not be? That was the home to Ash's best rival, Paul. I'm not writing this about Paul though. I could, but I feel Paul isn't really underrated. A character that is underrated in the Sinnoh arc though is Zoe. Zoe and Dawn had a very friendly but formidable rivalry. She was a very humble coordinator that helped push Dawn the right way without having the need to belittle her in any way. Now, I could say that she needs more screen time and whatnot, but I don't know any way that she could be implemented without it feeling forced. I just have Zoe here because I wanted to show appreciation towards her. She is a character that is well written, and she did her job as a rival very well. Even though she does have these great qualities, I feel fans don't appreciate her enough and what she did for the Sinnoh adventure. I believe that Pokemon Black and White 2 are objectively the best Pokemon games of all time. And I'm keeping my Johto bias 100% out of this. The replay value, plot, the Pokemon you can catch, and in my opinion, one of the most important aspects, the characters. One character in particular is one of the best in-game rivals out there, being Hugh. Despite Hugh being on a mission to stop Team Plasma due to them taking away his sister's purloin, he's still a decent rival. Hugh wants to test his strength, but he doesn't do it for the sake of getting power, like how we see with Silver. The characteristics he exudes put him as a caring character, but also a very resilient one. He keeps training for his mission, but he also wants to better himself and take the player character with him. He could have been implemented into the anime while being a rival not only to Ash, but to Banga too. Imagine that three-way rivalry. God, the Unova anime would probably be one of my favorite series if they took that approach. Hugh, though, is just a character that I feel sometimes gets overshadowed by the other more popular rivals like Blue or Silver. To be honest, though, I would even consider him to be a better rival than them. This is simply due to the fact that overall, he's a friend to the player, but is also competitive. Oh man, this is a character that I can literally talk about all day. I'm sure this is a character that most of you may remember, being Richie. I can feel what you guys are thinking. The possibilities of his character development, the morale boost he could have given Ash, like, holy crap, there is a lot of unexplored territory with Richie. Richie is literally the perfect rival for Ash. The biggest reason why is because he's a best friend rival that also pushes Ash. Richie is one of those characters that could have been a recurring character across all of the Pokemon regions. Richie had the potential to be a long-lasting rival, and he wouldn't even need to travel with Ash. Even if Richie and Ash just battled every once in a while or just provided support during certain situations, it would have been fine. Not to mention, I have a dream rematch that I want to see between Ash and him. He only lost because Charizard wouldn't obey. To be honest, Pokemon had the best opportunity to bring him back during Journeys. They could have explored Richie's team, his battle prowess, and point out the reasons why Richie and Ash are different while also having similar characteristics. A YouTuber that I just met named Ronin Charizard wrote Richie from such a fantastic perspective. Ronin makes Pokemon what-ifs, and the way Richie is written in his What If Giovanni-sponsored Ash series is chef's kiss. Ronin is such a gifted storyteller. So if you like the Pokemon anime and Pokemon What If scenarios, Ronin is the guy just for that. But yeah, Richie deserves more than what he got. To close out this list of amazing characters, here lies another trainer from the Indigo League that could have been a fantastic rival for Ash, being AJ. AJ was that cocky dude that ran an unofficial Pokemon gym and trained his Pokemon in very unique ways. He ran his gym like an actual gym, Pokemon lifting weights and going through strenuous training. Ash deemed this to be wrong, but AJ's Pokemon still loved him very much, and of course AJ reciprocated that. AJ was the first trainer in this series that whooped down on Ash, and demonstrated that there is always someone out there stronger than you. That Sandshrew was also stupid strong. Arceus only knows how strong it is now. In the end, Ash and AJ shook hands and agreed to be rivals. But of course, after nearly 25 years, AJ is yet to make an appearance, and I don't think he ever will. I wouldn't consider AJ to be at Richie's level when it comes to unused potential, but my point still stands. AJ could have at least made an appearance for the Indigo League, but Pokemon chose not to do that for whatever reason. It upsets me when we see such a good character go to waste, because AJ had the makings of a great character, especially with the rough start he and Ash had with each other. Well, those were 10 very underrated characters that I feel deserve more exposure than what they got. All the characters on this list had the makings to be such important cornerstones in the Pokemon series, but Pokemon underutilized them a lot. Even if these trainers made cameos in Journeys or any future Pokemon series, I feel it's kind of late to redeem them. Unless, of course, we write our own stories about them, which is what I would like to do with Pokemon What Ifs. Anywho though, what characters in the Pokemon series do you deem underrated? Let me know in the comments below. If this video does well, I may consider creating another list, because it was really fun to explore Pokemon's history. Welcome back to the outro, folks, your favorite part of the video. Thank you for enjoying another Mystic Umbreon video. We made it through the end of the 8th generation, and now we begin the long trek into late 2022 where Pokemon Scarlet and Violet await us. It's a whole new world we'll live in, but we still gotta catch them all. However, there's still a ton of videos to do and experiences to have until then. If you're interested in more Mystic content, check out my TikTok and the Mystic Umbreon Shorts YouTube channel. If we get the 10k followers on TikTok, I'll be doing a viewer's choice video. If you like Genshin Impact, check out my Genshin channel Teibachinery. So if you all enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. See you next time.